Okay, guys, this is going to be a really hard episode to do. It's going to be Pokemon strategy. I'm going to have to try to condense all of my knowledge into Pokemon into like 5 or 6 minutes of like really clear and concise ways of making you a better trainer. Fortunately, I'm not going to tell you guys how to EV train. I'm not going to tell you guys how to IV train. There's like so many guides out there that if you did about an hour worth of research, you could probably understand those things really well. And I don't feel I'm the best person that can describe them. I tried with my IV training video, and I was like, okay at describing it, but I'm not the best at doing it. So I'm just going to go with what I know, and that's how to make yourself a better trainer in general. You can have the best EV trained Pokemon, you can have perfect IVs on your Pokemon, but it doesn't mean anything if you don't know what you're doing. So I guess first is find out what kind of battle style you have. What makes you comfortable as a battler? Do you want to have a team of all sweepers? Do you want to have a team of like half sweepers, half tanks? Do you want to have a team of like counters? You know, if you see something scary that's really popular, you know what to bring in to stop it. And do you want to just have like a pure support lineup? You know, throw out a Klefki and support, like just have a setup for like one really strong Pokemon. You know, Ferrothorn and Fortress. Like, you know, just set up a Spike, set up a Stealth Rocks, go into a Klefki, get your dual screens going, start paralyzing people, and then next thing you know, you're going to have one or two sweepers that have been utterly just gifted any free kills that they could need, or you're just going to run straight up a choice band Garchomp that can one shot anything it runs into. Or you can play like me that, you know, with my Snorlax, with my more tanky, bruisery strategies that I take a tank and I buff all of his abilities to where he becomes stronger than that Garchomp. People don't know how to react if Garchomp doesn't take things out in one hit. People don't know what to do if their Togekiss doesn't flinch that one time that they needed to flinch. It's like, you need to find out what makes you work, and depending on your knowledge of Pokemon, like I don't want to sound too elitist, but I've been playing Pokemon competitively for like the last 7 years. I know everything about the competitive aspects. Not everything. There's hundreds of thousands of strategies, but I know so much that I can take one Pokemon, find out what Pokemon works really well with it, and just kind of like start throwing ideas together. And eventually, you just get something that on paper makes you go, "Holy crap, that's terrifying." And I guess that's what you need to do. You just need to find the Pokemon you want to have on your team. Don't feel forced into anything because it's the meta or because it's overpowered and overused. That's why I don't like Smogon. They force you into like how you're supposed to play because that's how they want to win. I feel like all of the Smogon like tier list and all the ideas that they come up with, it's mostly because they don't want to see anything too scary against them, so they block it out. Enough of my Smogon rant, but it's kind of like find the team Pokemon you want. I wanted to make Dunsparce hilariously overpowered, and I made it work because I found out he has Psych Up. Psych Up an AD tank with my AD tank that's buffed Snorlax. It's some things work out if you just think about all the ideas. Slurpuff. I saw no potential in Slurpuff. I saw when he was released, I'm like, great, this is going to be another garbage Pokemon. You can't do anything with him. But I decided to look into it mostly because one of my commenters was like, hey, check out Slurpuff. I want to see if you can make a strategy for him. You know, you have to challenge yourself to make it want to work. If it's a Pokemon you really like, you have to really make it want to work. And sometimes you just have to resort to the best strategy. Typhlosion is my favorite non-legendary Pokemon. Lugia is my favorite Pokemon overall. But with Typhlosion, I'm like, well, what else can you do besides Eruption with a Fire Gem or something? But, you know, Eruption Fire Gem, I have Blast Burn on mine because if you get hit, it's kind of like the last resort nuke. And then he has a Hidden Power Grass. So he has a good rounded out setup. And I feel like you can take your favorite Pokemon and just look at it. I also come up with the most obscure like EVs. You know, if you've heard any of my videos, like put 120 EVs here, put 50 EVs there, put 20 there, and put 190 there, and you have a strong Pokemon. You just kind of have to like think outside the box. Don't just think it's going to be 250, 252, 252, 4. You know, just kind of look around and be like, okay, he has really high stats here. I can put a nature in the not highest stat, which will buff that nature, which will buff that. Like, say, with Snorlax. He has really good special defense, but bad defense. So I gave him a defensive thing, put more EVs in special defense than defense. His defense still came out strong. His special defense was really strong, and I was able to max out his health as accordingly as I needed it, and he's a beast. So, I mean, just think outside the box is one of the biggest things I can stress. And find out ways to power up your Pokemon. If they're not used that much, make them tanky and then give them an attack steroid or something. Like with a Slurpuff. He gets Cotton Guard, the only 3-stage boost, and only like 10 Pokemon learn it, maybe not even that. So, I mean, all of a sudden he's a defense tank. Boom, first turn. Second turn. Okay, he already has decent special defense. Let's make it better. So I gave him Absorb Bulb next to a Surf, and then Calm Mind. You're getting all those bonus strategies. Now he's a tank, and now he has Draining Kiss, so now he's like a Lifesteal or kind of tank. And it works. It's a quick setup, and it works. So I guess I'm trying to like really make this is clear and concise. I hope I'm doing a good job. But I mean, let's just recap really quick. You have to be confident in yourself, you know. If you see a strategy that's beaten you before, don't give up. You might be able to take it on. Or if there's one thing that you just can't get over, try to beat it. Try to come up with something to beat it. You know, my team is always changing. I have a box of 40 Pokemon. Not in X and Y yet, but in my previous games, I'll have a box, 2 boxes of full, just 50 Pokemon I can change out. You know, if the meta changes, be like, okay, I'll do these 6 Pokemon. If this changes, do these 6 Pokemon. Or if I'm just feeling different, you know, it's like I've used Snorlax too much, let me pull out a new team. Just start working with being dynamic and make it to where your favorite Pokemon works for you. I can throw out as many strategy guides as I want, but they're not going to do too much good if you don't know how to utilize them the best. Because if you're just listening to a guide, then you know better than someone that's like, oh, I'll just throw Outrage on a Choice Scarf Garchomp, and if it doesn't die, I'm scared. Things like that. Be hilarious. Sometimes the strongest strategies are the ones that are just too cheap. I hate using them, but they work. I won a tournament because in a double battle scenario, I was like, okay, this is going to be funny. Rock Slide and King's Rock on a Dugtrio. And then I had Togekiss with Air Slash and Choice Scarf, I think? I think it was Choice Scarf Air Slash. So 60% on top of 40%. It's, in theory, 100% flinch, and it could be even higher if, like, the Rock Slide flinches on the other target. So Dugtrio's fast, double Rock Slide. Air Slash is going to lock down one person. Give a Focus Sash, or not, he already has King's Rock, but I gave him a Focus Sash as well, depending on how weak he was going to seem. And it was just a lockdown team, and people got so mad at it because they couldn't do anything to stop it. Air Slash is going to be almost a guaranteed flinch, and then Rock Slide is going to secure the fate of the other Pokemon most of the time. It's some funny things. Dunsparce, psyching up Snorlax and then making it to where he gets his Serene Grace procs. Look at the abilities. The abilities are what make and break a Pokemon most of the time. You know, with Togekiss, wouldn't be as used without Serene Grace. Slurpuff, if he didn't have Unburden, I wouldn't have tried to find a way to really break that ability open. But it did. So, I've been rambling for far too long. Hopefully, a lot of this got through. Hopefully, you guys understand what I'm trying to say, you know. Just understand the Pokemon and look at every aspect. Try to expand your knowledge of Pokemon to where you can understand everything that's going on. If you see something you've never seen before, make it work. If you want to make a Pokemon work, understand the possible potentials that they can have with other Pokemon. That's why I like Double Battle so much. With singles, you throw up 3 Pokemon that are going to just sweep and win, or they're going to out-tank you and win. But with doubles, you can put something next to something else, and you have like hundreds and thousands of just ideas that any combination can work, any items, any movesets. You're never going to see the same thing twice in most situations because someone's going to try to make theirs better. So, hopefully this helped. I can't really give an EV or IV guide too much, but this is how I come up with my strategies, and I hope it all works for you. I hope you really like my videos. Hopefully you guys stuck around for 8 minutes. I kind of wouldn't believe it if you did, but if you guys are really listening, I'll try to do more segments like this, maybe break it up a bit more, and hopefully you like this. Comment on it, tell me what you think, tell me what you want to see in the next video I try to do a strategy about. And most importantly, just have a nice day.